Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum just to kind of see where we're at within its cycle. And then we'll kind of dive into what the charts look like when you zoom into the patterns. So I'll give you my opinion. Again, this is just my financial opinion. It doesn't mean that it's going to play out this way, but let's take a look at it. So this is technical analysis of Bitcoin. This is a big picture view. In this box is a consolidation pattern and then a move higher. So this is the consolidation pattern, and this is the breakout and move higher. What I am proposing, there was another one before this from 2014 to 2018, 2018 to 2021, and then we're coming back in a consolidation pattern. This arrow, I think, is where the arrow is right here. So they came down, made some moves, but I think that's where we're at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this portion over here to see what's going on. So I zoomed in to a 1-year chart. This is a multi-year chart, so I'm just looking at this portion over here. We came on up. We squeezed up in here. We broke to the downside of this ascending wedge. We had a bull trap, and then we sold off. Now we've got this move higher that we're looking at, and one thing I want you to notice, I'm going to go into another one. Whenever you go up in price, if you see a contraction in momentum, see how this momentum contracts over time? And then eventually we put in the top. This is the topping pattern here, and then we went lower. We're getting that same contraction in movements as we go up. It means that the buyers are starting to equal the sellers, and that we could potentially see a move to the downside. That's what I would be looking for. So I zoom in again. Again, this is what I'm looking at. It's this move higher, pull back, higher, pull back, higher, pull back. Everything's contracting. The move higher is contracting, the pullback's contracting. And essentially, if you were to draw, and I'll do that here, draw something out, you could draw it, because these things are contracting. You could draw a thing that looks something like this. And maybe I'll extend this out too. And we're kind of squeezing up. We're squeezing up here, kind of to a point where I think it's going to fall down. I think we're going to come back. And this is what it looks like if you zoom in again on a 1 month. We're squeezing up into a point here. Now, I don't know when this is going to break, and I don't know which way it's going to break. But one thing to look for is if you squeeze up and it breaks to the downside on some like a good hard punch, you know, like a 4, 5, 6, 7% down day. And it punches through the lower support line here, trend line, then I'd be worried, you know, for a move lower. Now I'm looking at Ethereum. Ethereum scribing out the same type of pattern. I think we are pretty close to the same area in its relationship. So I'm going to zoom in on this right-hand side. Again, I'm just looking at the pattern itself. On this side here, you can see the contraction as the move goes up. Like it's putting in like a topping pattern, short-term topping pattern. Zooming in again, we've got this trend line that's going up, and then we've got these lows that are struggling to go higher. I don't know if this is necessarily a top of the short-term move, but what I would be looking for is a break of this trend line to the downside. If it breaks to the upside, it's all good. If it breaks to the downside, I'd say you're probably still in a consolidation mode, pullback mode. So that's what I've got for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I wanted to do those two, kind of the two major ones. I'm sure this applies across a lot of the alternative currencies as well, cryptocurrencies. But to me, I'm still looking at this from the perspective of a consolidation pullback mode. I don't think we're just going to go heading straight higher, but you know what? Anything's possible. You get enough money to flow into it, Obviously, this opinion could be wrong, but I would be looking for a break to the downside. That's what my analysis would suggest. Whenever you contract up into a corner, like an ascending wedge, usually those break to the downside. But if it has enough momentum and power behind this, maybe they can muster a break to the upside, and the party's still on. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.